Good morning, folks, but not for everyone. Disaster has struck Asia as a 7.9 magnitude earthquake cracked just outside of the capital city of Nepal. Buildings are destroyed, streets cracked and lifted, avalanches in the mountains, including at Mount Everest, where hikers have only recently begun to return. The death toll will take a while, but in some instances, up to 400 people are trapped in one collapsed building. This is going to be a catastrophe. Please go back to yesterday's news if you have to for the earthquake factors that called for the enhanced quake alert yesterday. My one point of solace is that the buoy readings around the region are not showing tsunami, simply a reverberation from the earthquake itself. The large earthquake was followed 30 minutes later by a solid aftershock. And since I know most of you are wondering, yes, there's a strong low-pressure earth spot sitting right on the mountain range. We also took a strong earthquake on the Canadian west coast to follow up the 5-pointer in California from the day before. Of course, those dark patches incoming here on the sun are the coronal holes, our primary earthquake factor. But of course now mixing with the planetary geometry and solar flare energies for this enhanced event. But while the Earth is rocking, you can see the sun is pretty calm. We see no major eruptions and no big flashes from a solar flare. In fact, getting C flares has been a bit of a struggle the last few hours. Sunspots do have a chance to change that as they head out of sight. Any CMEs wouldn't come our way, but as it turns, I see some mixing potential in the center. The lone eruption yesterday came south incoming and did not produce a major CME. Most of that filament fell and caused the surface surge. Solar wind, that's a calming trend, isn't it? Just take a look at these smooth curves returning to the sensitive flux. Know that Earth's shield will be doing just fine on a day like this. Our top eruption threat becomes the mega filament. Only a few days left until she faces Earth. Look at the size of this Leviathan. At least 9 solar tornadoes there. Couple links. Dawn is entering the light side view of Ceres, so images are going to come flooding in soon. We'll discuss a strange fact found by Brody Love in today's Fly on the Wall. Also got for you a piece from Hubble on a galaxy far, far away. Supernovas, peculiar features, Wookiees, Ewoks, pretty goofy place. Gotta come to the polar ice next, because indeed the Antarctic has broken ahead of last year's record marks and is breaking high ice records yet again, all while the cold event up north is continuing as well. Way above the trends, and no longer anywhere close to record low ice. Yesterday's top U.S. alerts did not disappoint. Major storms dropped along the convergence lines. Still got the western flow, and I'm eyeing the cool down in the northeast from that Canadian air, but again, top alerts will be for rapid storm formation and intensification along the convergence lines. In Europe, the Atlantic low has joined forces with one further north to create a large-scale low-pattern flow that is actually getting the Mediterranean wind involved as well. It balloons out the cloud tracks to cover more of the continent today. Down under. Easy. That convergence line at New Zealand is by far the strongest weather feature we can see in the area, and indeed, it sends the moisture to the quake zone from 2 days ago. That's not a coincidence. I mentioned Fly on the Wall earlier. It is Saturday, so our hour-long podcast session will take place soon, right after the news, and be posted to the premium content in a few hours. Topics today are going to be very fun. Got your current conditions and shots of our star to close. Last day on tour for now, 10 a.m. speech at PrepperCon today in Salt Lake City. Hope to see you there. Eyes open. No fear, it's 4 a.m. in Salt Lake City, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.